Alright, today for the podcast we are working on copying an angle. This is considered a construction. So here is my angle. Let's give it some letters, B, and then I'll give it another F, and then maybe a G over here. Doesn't really matter about those letters. I am simply copying angle B. So in order to copy an angle, you have to know what an angle is made of. So it is made of two rays that share a common endpoint. That endpoint, just for bonus, is called a vertex. So you are copying this angle, and the main thing that matters is the vertex. Well, drawing one of those rays, or copying one of those rays, is the easiest battle known to man. Ha ha ha, there's a ray right there. So I'm copying this angle over here. So since this is the initial point, or the beginning point, or terminal point, I guess, even if you will, this B is going over here to make a B prime. Now this is where some students err. They say, oh, well that means F prime is over here. Well, it could be there, 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 there. It's some random. Now you could use your compass and figure out exactly where F prime is, but it's actually not necessary because our only goal is to just copy this angle. So I've actually already written some steps down. So the first thing you're wanting to do is draw a random ray. He's a really cool guy. This is him right here, the easiest step known to man. The second one that you want to do is you want to set your compass. Now setting your compass, if you remember, and whenever we copied a segment, setting your compass for a segment looks like this. That's considered showing the teacher how to set your compass. Well, for an angle, you actually have two rays now. So you're going to have to show Mr. Brown or your teacher how to set your compass for both of these. Now, some students decide that they want to go through F, and then they get really, really frustrated when F doesn't go through G. Well, it doesn't really matter. If you'll remember, only angle B is what we're trying to copy. So I would even strongly suggest that instead of going through one of my randomly generated points, just create an intersection all your own. So if you can't see that on the video, all I did was I set my compass on B and did some really, really, really random setting, and I made my compass go from there all the way over to there. And that is showing how I set my compass. The next thing I have to do is I have to copy that same arc. Now I am copying it onto the copy. Duh. This is the copy. This is the original. You have to know the difference. This here, is the question. So yes, you have drawing on your question. So now we come over here. If you'll notice, although I pushed my compass out of the way, my setting never changed, and that is good because I take that setting and now I copy it over here. Ta-da! I have no idea how big or how small. Some students err and they just make it that big. Well, you're going to wind up, this ray has got to go through that arc. So your ray looks like it's going to go up this way. So there's no sense in stopping it right there because then your arc will not be long enough. So now I have copied, and I know that my ray will now go through this setting somewhere. And so now I have to reset my compass. If you'll notice, I just created this point right here, and it's not F. Some students err by putting that as F prime. That's when I get to take my lovely red marker and go, ah, totally wrong. It is not F prime. I don't care what you label it. You could label it as your house. It is not a prime because it did not come from anything other than this, and this is not labeled. So if you had labeled this as your house, then guess what this becomes? That's right, your house prime. Now, we are only looking for this intersection right here. That becomes horribly important. G's not important. F's not important. It was house. And, oh, I don't know, a house is going for a car. So here is car, intersection car. Sorry, more like a truck. But that is intersection car, or a truck. We know that intersection truck has got to be somewhere over here. somewhere, 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 somewhere. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be there just by looking at it. It's going to be an obtuse angle, so it might be over here somewhere, or here, or here. Well, I know exactly how far the truck is away from B because it's going to be there or there. I know exactly where it is. The only thing I don't know yet is how far the truck is away from the house. So that means that you reset your compass. You take your compass from your house and you reset it, to where your truck is. Because don't you already know where the house is? And don't you already know where the house prime is? You're simply looking for truck prime. So you put it on house prime and bam! That intersection right there is exactly the distance that you needed. So the final thing, you have reset your compass. Uh-oh, Mr. Brown's gonna mark off for Mr. Brown because he does not have his setting. You can see it in there a little bit, but you have to have that setting right there. And you bring it over here, and then bam, bada bing, from B prime, you know exactly where the truck is going, so wata! Yay, I have officially copied my angle by all of these. I reset my compass there, I copied my arc there, and now I have connected my intersections. And that is how you copy an angle.